Oh, hi, I'm Ryan. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'll be showing you how to make a quinoa black bean corn salad. Quinoa is a grain rich in protein that originates from the Andes Mountains in Peru. Still a staple of the Peruvian diet, the ancient Incas used to call it the mother grain. When I first told my brother John, a vegetarian, that I was using quinoa in some of my dishes, he told me that he thought that the US was just exploiting the Peruvian food source for a fad diet, and he did not approve. My ex-girlfriend, however, used to always say, "Fuck the Peruvians, they stole my land." All I know is that quinoa is pretty delicious. For this quinoa black bean corn salad, we're going to dice some vegetables. Namely, celery, onions, red pepper, 2 jalapenos. And wash all of these before you do. Then you can start.
Alright, so we'll speed it up a little bit. I start with the celery. I already have the onions done. Watch earlier videos to see how that's done. Celery, get rid of the base and the leafy parts, and just make sure you dice it small and keep your fingers out of the way. I'm going to keep everything I dice here in the same pot because the celery and the peppers go in at the same time. So you can just keep them in the same container. For both the red pepper and the jalapenos, you're going to want to get rid of the stems, the white parts on the inside, and the seeds. You can keep the jalapeno seeds if you don't mind it being very, very spicy, but I think this dish is spicy enough. Make sure your knife is nice and sharp, otherwise you might have an accident. And then, cut them just like you see here. Cut it into strips, line them up, and then dice them as small as you can. There is a reason I cut the jalapenos last. The juices from the jalapenos are spicy enough to actually burn your fingers while you're cutting them. So I like to do that last. And then a good way to neutralize the oils from the jalapenos is to cover your hand in cooking oil. Rub it in and then wash your hands thoroughly with hot water and soap. I usually use dish detergent. And that will neutralize it. So I have 2 tablespoons of oil in there. I don't know if you can see it. Got it on about a medium heat. I'm going to turn it up to a high heat. Yeah, you can see the flames going around there. So you can tell I'm really cooking. I'm not pretending to cook. All right, the oil should be kind of hot now, so we're going to dump our 1 medium onion in there. Very fine dice. This should cook pretty quick. We're going to cook this and the 1 tablespoon of garlic until they're about pretty translucent. They're going to smell pretty good. And they'll be clear. The onions will be clear. The garlic will, you don't want it to brown, but you want it to get almost brown. So that's just the onions. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, maybe to a medium high. Now I'm going to add the garlic. Like I said, a tablespoon. I kind of eyeballed that, but I'm a professional. Alright, so I got the onions and the garlic in there. Like I said, cook them until they start smelling really good and they are translucent. Shouldn't take long, less than 5 minutes. I got it on like a medium high, kind of leaning more towards high right now. Everything else I have measured in the same measuring cup. The celery, the red peppers, and the jalapenos. As far as vegetables, those are all going to go in at the same time. I did keep the onions and garlic separated because they need a little longer and they cook at different times. So in the long run, it made sense. Something else I did before I even started cooking, and
recording, I measured out all the spices I'll put in there. That's about 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of cumin, half a teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of paprika, and a pinch of cayenne pepper. You could always adjust these levels later on when this dish is done. If it's not salty enough, add a little bit more salt. If you want it a little bit more smoky, put some more cumin in it. More spice, cayenne pepper. Now that everything's about translucent, I'm going to add the spice. I'm going to stir that up real good. I once read that cumin was a spice that's activated by oil. I always believe that to be true. I don't know if that's true. Maybe if somebody wants to comment that on that below, is that true? Or if I just put cooking this way for no reason? Well, if it's true, then the cumin's in there with the oil. Now that everything's all mixed up and ready to go, we just need to add in the rest of the vegetables, which is the 2 stalks of celery, 1 red pepper, 2 jalapenos. Once again, we're just stirring this all up. Still at a medium. Just drop my oven mitt. But yeah, stir everything up. We want to get these cooked up pretty well. Want to get them pretty soft before we do anything else. And turn it back up to a high heat. This shouldn't take long either. Maybe another 5 minutes, if that. I guess I should have mentioned earlier, you're going to need a lid for this recipe. If you do not have a lid, get some aluminum foil. There's something, you need this to be covered while it is simmering in a little bit. It's going to need to be mostly covered. All right, it's important to keep stirring while you have it on a high heat, just so the stuff doesn't burn to the bottom. Could be a problem later. So right now we're good though. I have enough oil in here and I've been moving them around enough just to keep the pan nice and clean. All right, so we are ready for the quinoa. I have the 1 cup of quinoa right here. I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna stir it up for a minute just to, I guess, toast it. I still have it on a high heat right now. It won't be on a high heat for much longer. We're gonna have it at a very low heat for most of the rest of the cook. But the high heat for now until we get the water boiling, which I'm going to add right now. I'm gonna add it in slowly. Mix it. I have not added all the water yet. I want to get this water nice and hot real quick. All right, so you could already kind of see it boiling, I hope. Yeah, I still don't have all the water in there. But I'm about to add the last of it in right now. And pour it over my spoon. Any excess ingredients on the spoon will hopefully be in there. Now I just gotta wait for this bad boy to get to a rolling boil. I think my camera got all steamed up. I can't tell. Sorry for the pause there. So you see the outsides of it starting to boil. Once the inside starts going, I'm going to turn it down to a medium-low heat. Put this top on, and I'm going to step away for 15 minutes. Guys, it's been 15 minutes, and as promised, I am back to put the corn in. A lot's changed. Our quinoa is pretty much completely cooked, but not entirely. Still got a little longer to go. Not much. I'm putting frozen corn in here, so that's going to slow the cooking process down a little bit. But I'm going to mix it up real quick, real good. And I'm going to place the top back on. In about 15 more minutes, I will be back to put the can of black beans in and the lemon juice. By the way, folks, I thought I should just say that I use the beans in the blue can. Iberia beans. They're usually on sale in my grocery store, and I know nothing else about them. And that's the way it should be. Quinoa is done. We just need to add the can of black beans and the lemon juice in. Got the black beans here. You can tell I washed them because they're in a strainer. And now the lemon juice. I'm going to eyeball this out. You don't need much. I'm going to pour a little into the cap. And then, I don't know, that was probably like 1 lemon's worth. You could use lime juice if you want. I had lemon juice. Mix it all up. Oh, by the way, this is stove's no longer on. I'm going to cover it back up and let it sit for 5-10 more minutes, and then it's ready to eat. Some people do put cilantro in it, but some people genetically think cilantro tastes like soap. I'm not one of them. I just don't have cilantro. So, no cilantro. That's your final product. It's fully edible, completely cooked, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free. I'm going to try it out and let you know how it tastes. Alright, I know it's cooked, but does it taste good? If it doesn't taste good, I'll have to adjust the spices in it, which I can do right now. No big deal. I think it's good. Maybe a little bit more salt. But I'm going to be using it with other stuff, so I think I might just keep it like it is. Alright, thanks for watching. I'm Ryan, and this has been me cooking a black bean corn quinoa salad. My apologies to Peru.